Thank you for using PhotoMe.
Oh, not at all. Thank you for having me.
Make sure your face is within the red circle.
What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about a little movie called Paddington in Peru. This movie follows Paddington, the young bear from London, as he travels back to the jungles of Peru in search of his lost Aunt Lucy. The story is a comedy. It's a family comedy, and in Paddington style, it's very proper, has some English comedy throughout it. It isn't like hard to laugh at. I mean, he'll get some laughs from you. But yeah, it's just a very particular humor, a very particular type of story that we're following, and I mean, I just love that people love this bear. I think my father, who was a Paddington fan, like from the old television series, which I never got into, but he is the main reason I went and saw this movie in theaters, because I mean, the first two have been praised to no end for being just works of art and being just almost perfect movies. It's surprising most people who have seen them. And so, I got on the train late, and so I was like, you know what? Let me see this one and see if I can see what everyone's talking about. I'll start with the good. I'll start with the good things about the movie, because there are some things that unfortunately weren't perfect about this one. And I have yet to see 1 and 2, so those will get to be seen. But as far as the third one, I will say the good things about it. I love Paddington as a character. I think he has this like lovable klutz type of feel to him. His demeanor is very like proper, and he's like just fun. Like, he's a very fun bear. He feels very human. He feels very human, and he so that's kind of fish out of water thing where he's more well-rounded to the ways of human beings, having been with his family from London. However, there are still things that he just doesn't know, things that he'll try to guess on the fly. And there's actually this fun scene where they get lost. No spoilers, by the way, no spoilers. But they get lost, and he tries to lead them, but I don't think he fully knows his way around, although it's technically where he's from. It's been a while, and so hijinks ensue. He's one of those characters where, like Steve Urkel, have well intentions, but hijinks ensue just because they are not perfect. They have flaws, and they go about the flaws in an endearing way. The word charm, people say he's like he has a lot of charm, and I think that word is pretty good at describing his character. He's very fun to watch. If for anything else, watch the movie before Paddington himself. I also enjoyed the side characters, the family. I thought that although it didn't have a whole bunch to do to move the plot, they definitely added a lot of comedic relief. There is this theme of leaving the nest that is fun to watch them go through as well. And so I definitely enjoyed those characters for what they were there to do. The dad mainly has a subplot with a spider that is just hilarious. And again, all the side characters have a lot of character. Antonio Banderas as the captain of this boat has a lot of character. He has a lot of, he brings a lot of energy to this character, a lot of energy to this role. And so I definitely think that, going into it, you'll definitely enjoy the side characters. They're not going to be a hindrance to the film. I don't know how much they add to the overall story, but they don't take anything away from it necessarily. I also love the way this film was shot. It was shot very typical of a big, high budget feature, but they do things with, when the mother's painting, they do things with visual effects that I think just really add this imaginative kind of air to the film. There's also a montage when they travel that has a lot of fun imagery, and so I think that in terms of the imagery in the film and directing of those certain scenes, it was done very well, and it immerses you. It keeps you immersed in the film, which I enjoyed. Now, in terms of the bad, there are issues with the movie. For me personally, I don't know if anyone's gonna have these issues. For me personally, I was not the biggest fan of the pacing in the beginning. It starts out very slow. Now, I don't know if this is a British film thing, or if this is just a directorial hiccup, or this is just the way that these films tend to go. I did read somewhere that they have different writers and different director for this one, so that was people's fear going in. People loved the first two. That wasn't gonna hold a candle to the first two because there's a new direction and new writers, and I believe some of those fears came true. Again, having not seen Paddington 1 or 2, which people say Paddington 2 is like the best film ever made, I have to see this for myself. I don't think it held up to those standards. I personally was bored for a bit towards the beginning. The montage kind of picked up, and then once the plot kicked in, it had me engaged, and it was fun, and it kind of picked up steam from there. But yeah, the beginning was slow, a bit sluggish. Was not enjoying all of that, and we could have probably cut some of the scenes. We could have at least maybe sped up some of the scenes. I also did not particularly enjoy all of the subplots. There's a couple subplots in this that take away from the main story, and although they kind of wrap up, they did slow down pacing as well for me, and weren't as exciting or as engaging outside of a couple gags. Like, I think they did a couple more gags than they needed to with this, and so I definitely felt like they could have cut some of that, and it would have had the film just run a little more smoothly and kind of have in and out for what we came for, which is Paddington himself. And yeah, I just think the movie just wasn't like a 9 out of 10. It definitely didn't feel like something that I would recommend people go see like in theaters, because I think that it was kind of like your run-of-the-mill family movie with the Paddington charm. Again, having not seen 1 and 2, I feel like Paddington for the most part hasn't changed, because he's the best part of the movie. And again, I can see where these movies can be great based on the third one, but the third one obviously missed the mark. And so definitely looking forward to watching Paddington 1 and 2. I think that Paddington in Peru is definitely a fun watch. The whole family can enjoy this. I think the whole family will enjoy this movie. It's got enough to keep kids engaged, just enough to get the adults engaged. And I would probably give this on a rating of bad, okay, mid, good to peak. I would give this an okay. I think this film was okay. I think it's worth watching. It is not bad in the slightest. However, I would not recommend people, running out and watching this movie immediately. I think it's something you can put on whenever you have time. There's no real need to see this for any particular reason. Outside Paddington being just like the cutest bear, the most charming, fun character to have hit a screen in recent memory. He's just like, that's a really fun character. He just, he steals the show when he's on screen. The animation, the CG for Paddington, if I can just add that, is also peak. The CG for Paddington, you almost forget he's a CG character. That's how good it is. And I mean, if anything, kept up from the other movies, I think the animation on Paddington himself kept up very well. But yeah, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more reviews like this, let me know in the comments below. Please give it a like. Please subscribe for more film related content, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.